first and foremost, it was a foul, and Ciryl Gane's the one to blame for it. But from the optics and the way that it looked, his eye was closed when he got poked in it. He was saying he couldn't see, and he wasn't even trying to open his eye to see if he could see. Like, obviously, I have no idea. I'm not there, but you see the pictures afterwards. His eye looks fine. I've seen a whole finger go in someone's eye, and they keep fighting, right? So, I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation. You know what I mean? It's all speculation. But I feel like he might have taken the easier way out. It's a no contest. You got to come back. He gets paid $3 million. You know what I mean?
Only Tom knows how bad that eye injury was. Just like the same thing with you, Henry. Only you knew how bad that was and how much that hurt you in there. So we can't sit here and really be upset with Tom, like, because a lot of the consensus is you're being a pussy. You should have continued. You quit. Listen, my man he's the only guy in there who felt that. He's the only one who knows how bad that was. So if he felt that it was bad enough to where he could not continue, all the power to him. I don't understand why people just feel like, because we are gladiators, they just feel like you should die in there. You should go to the death. If you're not dead, you quit. You're a quitter. So let's just get rid of that aspect of it.
I don't even know where to go. My heart goes out to Tom Aspinall. I don't know why this motherfucker is the victim in this shit. Yeah. But every time these guys, you know.
What would you do about it, Ray?
What was that?
What would you do about it?
I'll tell you one thing I do about it. You poke a guy in the eyes. First off, I give an automatic 2 points, an automatic point. Who wants their coach? I mean, as a coach, who wants to see that guy get poked in the eye and viciously poked in the eye in the first round? I don't give a fuck about continuing. This shit is done. To me, it's done on purpose. Every eye poke is intentional. I don't know. I feel bad for Aspinall. He shouldn't take any criticism at all. He said it in the ring. I got my fucking eyeball pushed to the back of my head. Like, what do you want the guy to do?
Right.
I mean, I tell you, if you want to see the fight go on, give him a half hour to recover.
Yeah.
Let him go in the back. You want the fight so bad? Let the doctors come in and treat him. Let them squirt some drops in there. I don't know.
Unfortunately, this is shit that happens. It's the same referee that happened with me, happened with him. So it just don't take much. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom, you got to take him for his word. You know, he did get papped up. I could see why people are saying that he possibly took the easy route out, because maybe to regroup. But, I mean, it is what it is, bro. I mean, that eye is – the eyes, I mean, fuck, dude, I'd be the first one to be hating right now. But because it's happened to me, you know, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt, dude. Fuck it, I've always thought people bitched out when they got poked. It's humbling. I've learned so much, bro, and I feel like God is teaching me a lot through this. Because whatever it is, dude, we cannot fucking judge Kamaru. Like, only he knows what that feels like.
This is ridiculous, man. You know, I paid $80 for this. And Tom's eye has to go ahead and do this. I feel betrayed. No, listen, a lot of people complaining kind of similar complaints, whether it's like, you know, I put money on Aspinall or I went to see the fight and yada, yada. This crap happens in MMA sometimes. And you know, I don't buy the narrative that Tom should have continued. I think he probably knows best. And this is a man who has trained for many years and has fought the scariest dudes on the planet. I think if he would have been able to continue, he would have continued. So, you know, it's funny just how people kind of project their own kind of feelings on the fights. And the unfortunate thing is in combat sports, crap happens, whether it's a random broken leg or a poke in the eye. And the other thing, John, is not all injuries are created equal, in that you could see a guy barely get scraped in the eye and his eye is done. Like, he cannot see. You see other guys, you know, finger in the eye and it hits the right spot or the wrong spot, and the guy's able to continue. Like, you know, you got to trust the fighters in these kind of circumstances.
It was trending towards being a good fight, and, bro, that eye poke was very bad.
Yeah.
Very fucking bad, and fuck, bro, I was like deflated afterwards. I was like, God.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and then like he was getting booed afterwards. He's like, bro, I didn't fucking poke myself in the eye. Like, it's like if all five of us get hit in the nuts, we're all gonna have different reactions. Like,
Hell yeah.
you can't. It's your fucking eye. Like, you don't fucking like you.
Justin's gonna be.
You gotta
pop right up.
You got a knuckle in
Shit,
your
bro,
eye.
so
You thought
low.
it was a fucking.
I thought my eyeball went to the back
How
of my
many
head.
times? Like, you get punched sometimes, and you think you get poked, and that's some nut ass shit. Like, you think Tom Aspinall didn't want to continue that? Like, you think he didn't want to fight that motherfucker?
And of course, I saw it on the chat. I saw it online. The moment he faces adversity, the people are saying he quote unquote quit. That's what the people are saying. Complete hogwash, complete nonsense. If you just watch it, you will see that those were two nasty, deep eye pokes. I do not think that they were intentional, but I do not, like, how could we sit here and fault Tom Aspinall for not continuing? Too much at stake, too much, hanging in the balance. And that's nasty stuff. You can't go out there fighting a guy like Ciryl Gane on, a half an eye, one eye.
He posted after the fight his eye, and we got to see the damage. And apparently, from what was posted, it looks like everything is okay. Now, I'm gonna be fair here. He got double zoinked. I get it. But the one that got zoinked the worst, like where it looked like the nail, the middle finger went in a little bit further. He wasn't even complaining about that eye. He was complaining about the other one. Mind you, the reason why I think this does not look good, and I'm gonna just say it straight, Tommy Aspinall was losing that fight. I do feel that watching the fight, there's something to be said that the fight looked like it was starting to get tough. And for those things, it makes me question it.
I felt it too, or I felt like Ciryl had your number, you didn't come. Let's redo this, you know? Let's go back and make some more money, we'll redo it, I'll come back to the drawing board again, because most fighters would say, you're gonna go out on your shield, brother. We came too far, it's too long to come here. I'm not going out on stupid eye poke.
I don't think Tom Aspinall quit. I don't want to be clear, I don't think he did that. But I gotta be honest, like, even if he did, so what? Hear me out on this. George St. Pierre, these are all different circumstances, meaningfully different. But George St. Pierre, when he got bodied by Matt Serra in their first, fight, he tapped to strikes. People think it was a TKO stoppage because if you don't notice it, he leans over and taps the mat and calls it a day. Like, this idea that this inherently makes you a quitter for all time clearly is not true.
Yeah, I mean, I was as disappointed as anybody else. And I think at first, I really was kind of on the side of, man, Tom, like, come on, you got to step up. This is a main event, this heavyweight title. Take as much time as you need, but get back in there. I think when I saw the poke and how bad it was and the fact that it compromised both eyes, it was ugly. And you're right, that only Tom Aspinall really knows. Could he have continued?
My trainer, Coach Clayton, when we'd be practicing, every now and then he would yell out to the whole room, close your left eye. And then, open your left eye, close your right eye later. He'd say, don't breathe through your nose anymore, breathe through your mouth. And the idea was if your eye gets swollen and it gets shut, or if your nose gets clogged and you can't breathe, that you're kind of used to these things. Tom said something, and look, we got to dwell on a guy in a really bad moment, but to dwell on him, he said, I got poked in the eye, I can't see. If you got poked in the eye and you're injured, we have a totally different conversation. If you get poked in the eye and you can't see, generally in our sport, that's just something you've got to push through.
My initial reaction before they gave us 500 slow-mos and angles and zoom-ins, before that, my gut reaction, I was watching with a neighbor, was quitter. This dude's a quitter. Listen, Tom Aspinall couldn't say, I can't see fast enough. He could not get those words out of his mouth fast. I can't see. I can't see. He told anybody who would listen, I can't see. He asked for a cell phone from the crowd so he could text people, I can't see. Like, that dude was looking for a way out. That is why people were mad. Tom Aspinall, I firmly believe he was looking for a way out and he took it. But at the same time, if he continued to fight and then lost, which is what it kind of looked like was about to happen, we would all call him a fraud. And calling him a quitter for a couple of months till there's a rematch is better than calling him a fraud, because at least he'll get pay-per-view points on the rematch as the champion. So, like, he made the right decision business-wise.
I think where people are starting to criticize and have a certain opinion is because he said, I can't see, multiple times to the doctor. Now, maybe it's because it's his first situation like that, but we've all been around the sport long enough to know that that's not what you say to the doctor if you want to continue to fight. Unless you can't actually see and you're panicking because you're worried about your vision, because you're like, hold on a minute, imagine this. You got 2 working eyes. I can remember what those days were like. And then all of a sudden you can't see and you're freaking out and you're panicked and you're like, hold on a minute, I don't give a shit right now about this fight. I care about my vision. So there's 2 sides to it. I can understand why people will come to that conclusion. Listen, the only person that knows is Tom. You got to take it at face value. They're gonna run it back.
I'm not saying it's Tom's fault, and I'm not gonna, pretend that I know how bad it is or isn't. I think Chael made a poetic point that you have to be used to or willing to fight with one eye. I did it in Singapore. Everyone talks about it all the time, where the ladies waving stuff in front of my eyes. I can't see it. So what do? I just walk away and say, let's fight. You just you either want to or you don't. And my fight wasn't for a world title. I didn't have Ciryl Gane in front of me throwing bombs. But the second that there was an issue, I knew that I wanted to continue, so I know what to say. You never say I can't see if you want to continue to fight.
Tom's got a belt round his shoulder that is a lot to him. It's an undisputed world championship. And you're basically telling him, sure, you got your eyes gouged out by fucking Gane's baguette fingers right into the socket of your eyeballs and raked across your face, but just fucking lose your title like the rest of us. The rest of us? Chael's never had undisputed. Smith's never had undisputed. I've seen those guys, and listen, I've seen Smith curled up in a ball from legal strikes. So it's like, what do you want Tom to do? What would make you guys happy with what Tom responded with? Smith, I've seen you quit without being eye poked and be on your knees on the single leg getting punched over and over again. So did he not quit correctly according to the Lionheart State Athletic Commission of quitting?
A lot of people in the MMA space talking about how, it was disappointing Tom didn't continue. You're the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. You just got poked in the eye very bad. You're fighting a very dangerous kickboxer. Very dangerous kickboxer. It is hard to stand in front of a human being with that high level of skills and fight him with 2 eyes. Now you're gonna get illegally poked in the eye. It wasn't a right hand. He didn't get hit. Boom, broke his orbital. Eye swells up. You can't see. That's different. You get punched in the eye, a legal shot. Your eye swells up. You can't see. You fight through that. Tom Aspinall would fight through that. He wouldn't get punched. Eye swells up and go, I'm done. I can't see. It's different because he got poked in the eye. That is an illegal strike. Illegal. It was an accident. 100%. I believe it was an accident. I don't think Ciryl did it on purpose. Ciryl was getting the better of Tom. But to question Tom's toughness is insane.
I know there's some fighters who don't agree with me, but I think people are just being too hard on Tom. I remember the first time I got really poked in the eye. It was in training at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I went home and I was in bed the rest of the day. Because so many, first of all, your cornea gets scratched and you can't see. And then if they poke it bad enough, the inside of your actual eye socket gets scratched and it's all stinging. And because I couldn't see, I was squinting nonstop and I was getting dizzy because of the double vision and I was making my stomach sick. And it's definitely dangerous against somebody like Ciryl Gane to continue in that aspect. And I truly believe that he couldn't see straight. I think they're being way too hard on him.
Yeah, Tom will want to get back out because there's a stupid narrative on social media saying, oh yeah, did he look for a way out there because he was losing around? You're out of your mind.
People actually saying that?
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
He had 2 fingers knuckle deep in his eyes.
You're out of your mind if you think that is true. No fighter, never mind a UFC champion, is looking for a way out of any fight. Yeah. But I think that when he sees that ridiculous narrative, I think Tom, that will fire him up even more to be like, get that fight back on as soon as possible. Yeah. And I think he'll refuse to wait until the new year.